Before you call a police station, before they even leave, they'll take permission from.
I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve.
We struggled, we asked to strike.
The Minister of Education volunteered and said, give me 2 weeks.
It was a lie. The president never gave me any deadline.
Welcome to Global Morning.
The death toll from flooding.
Most time our politicians just bring in policies too, for sure.
Incidentally, we have several more stories.
The legislature was carefully crafted to
22.2% inflation rates as of April this year. What does that say about where we are as a country?
I think Nigeria has resorted to being resilient.
Before you call a police station, before they even leave, they'll take permission from.
I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve.
We struggled, we asked to strike.
The Minister of Education volunteered and said, give me 2 weeks.
It was a lie. The president never gave me any deadline.
The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. And of course, a new day, Wednesday morning, live here on Global Morning, Global Television. Many thanks for tuning in and stay with us on the program Global Morning. My name is Edikan Micah, and it's a pleasure to have you join us. And of course, I'm not going to be doing this morning show alone. I have my colleague joins us this morning. Good morning, Queen.
Good morning, Michael.
I mean, the stage and composure is still intact throughout the last time I checked.
Yeah, it's still a beautiful morning, so we have to be intact. And you look good, by the way.
Thanks so much for the compliment. I mean, a lot has happened in the country when people come out having to believe in the dreams, in the pushing forward ahead of time. I mean, it's inspiring to be in the country, the time where we are actually calling our doctors to be back to rescue the situation of our health sector, government interventions and all of that. We should believe in the country, we should believe in Nigeria. What do you think?
Yes, I think we need to believe in Nigeria in spite of all that is happening, in spite of the many chaos that we're experiencing, in spite of the insecurity, the unfavorable policies here and there. We can only but, hope and believe and do the needful, continue to talk to those in leadership, to those in government, to those who need to listen to us so that the right things can be done. And more especially, we need to do the right things from our end,
Absolutely.
As patriotic
and they
citizens
should
of
listen
Nigeria.
because the close right there is listening, because I mean, look at the End Bad Governance protest. The people were saying, listen to our demands, listen to what we want and all of that. So we just want the situation where the government begin to pay attention to what the people are saying at every strata. Well, it's a morning show, and of course we begin our morning show with the newspaper, giving you an highlight of what the paper has for you this morning. So we'll go on a break, and once we return from the break, we'll take another newspaper. Do stay with us.
Is your ultimate destination for engaging political and economic matters. I am Uyi Agmofwebe.
And don't forget to include social discussions. Tune in every weekdays from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. I am Queen Agaba.
For insightful breakfast ideas, business summaries, sports highlights, international and local news perspective, I am Anthony Momodu.
Don't miss the in-depth analysis of current and political issues by the Global Morning team and experts. I am Jumai Manson.
Catch Global Morning here on Global Television. Getting on the action. I am Edikan Michael.
We are
the Global Morning team.
Get ready for it. Inside Today brings you issues relating to family, peer pressure, drugs, substance abuse, societal and topical issues making rounds. Join Jumai Manson on Global Television Monday to Thursday and it repeats every Friday. Time 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Don't miss out. Time check. It's midday. Then it's Midday Discourse. Midday Discourse is a program that covers trending local and international news, current issues, and human-related topics. Join Samuel Odi weekdays 1 p.m. on Global Television. The discussion starts here. In an ever-busy world, the increasing challenge of keeping track of health matters can be extremely demanding. Follow the latest health tips and trends on Health Guide on Global Television on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Health Guide on Global Television. Put your health first. All right, everyone, many thanks for staying with us on the Global Morning. We now head to all the newspaper has for us this morning. To start with the Punch newspaper. The big story we have on the Punch this morning, NNPC report, 9.3 trillion naira petrol imports as queues linger. Right after the story has it that petrol subsidy gobs 3.3 trillion naira. NNPC incurs 1.8 trillion naira energy security cost. Both Accords worry the ports receive PMS. Task force arrest the black marketers. We still have producers decline sale of 460,000 barrel per day crude to Dangote and others. You can find that on page 25 of the Punch newspaper. Akume, Edun lead local government autonomy implementation panel. That is on page 14 of the Punch newspaper. Our 5 banks budget 222 billion naira for cyber security. That's on the page 28 of the Punch newspaper. 1 dies as Ogun hunters headers clash. APC kicks 2027. APC kicks as PDP back score for Jonathan's return. You can find the story on page 14 of the Punch newspaper. We're trying to wrap up here on the Punch. Forex shortage, domestic airlines ground 42 aircraft. That's on page 25 of the Punch newspaper. Over to you, Queen.
Yeah, our next point of call would be the Guardian newspaper. Front page of the Guardian newspaper. Big story there we have. Customs spot rates adoption. Customs spot rates adoption. Duty FX rate shift 100 times in 2024. Spike prices of goods by 12%. We have a chart there and graphics of how prices remain sticky over high FX rates, frequent changes, and uncertainty. Why environmental impact reports are failing stress tests. Also, NNPC, OPEX salaries hit 2.9 trillion naira in 2023, up by 70%. Don't provoke strike with handing of Ajero's invitation. NLC cautions please. And also, northern leaders meet over region's future. Amid hardship, Bauchi distributes SUVs to 6 emirs. Tinubu's foreign trips cost Nigeria 2.3 billion naira in 6 months. Finally, on the Guardian newspaper, Appeal Court affirms Shoibu as Edo Deputy Governor, returns Bellows ruling. These are the stories we have on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Let's look now at The Nation.
And over to The Nation newspaper, big story of The Nation, NNPCL. Petrol sells for half heat landing cost. That's on page 2 of The Nation newspaper. Now we also have more Yobe farmers take delivery of Governor Mai Mala agri-empowerment implementation input across more local government areas. That is on page 17 in a bid to tackle the food inflation in the country. We also have that the most easily also have reactions, a display of the food distribution project and empowerment project of Yobe State government. That is really occupying almost the front pages of The Nation newspaper. And then also we also have the display of 6.5 trillion naira NNPC investment from banks, Zenith banks, and all the top banks right there. Beneath the headlines of the papers, and reviews of local government locations and all of those other details right there on the front page of The Nation newspaper. You can ask the vendor for your paper so as to get more details on the pages.
Our next point of call will be the Vanguard newspaper. Front page, big story, police invitation to Ajero. We won't be silenced, NLC, according to NLC. And then the writer there says that directs workers to shut down economy if Ajero is arrested. As global workers groups, CSOs, others raise alarm over worsening rights abuse in Nigeria. Why Ajero turned down police invitation, according to Falana, and then demands full details, nature of allegations. Says Ajero can only honor invitation August 29. These are the stories, the riders following the big story here. Diaspora remittances rise 130% to $553 million in July, according to CBN. And police, again, fail to arraign protesters, says activist Adeon June. Also, cost of governance will cut 10 billion naira from COP29 expenses, according to presidency. And 3 years on the throne, the hardest lesson I learned, the Olu of worry there. Right of way tussle threatens Nigeria's telecom sector. These are the stories we have on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Sorry, we have PPN to Tinubu here. Nigerians are hungry. Hasten renewed hope agenda. That's quite.
And I think it's very interesting as well because our many on the street, even those who supported and voted for the president, have to acknowledge the fact that things are hard, hunger is real in the country, and that there is more for the president to do to tackle the food inflation in the country. So those are the stories we have on the front page of the Vanguard. Let's take a look at our next point of call. And now to This Day newspaper. This Day newspaper has it at the big story. Clark, Wike must leave PDP for party to survive. Right after the story has it, the party inaugurates disciplinary and reconciliation committee today. That was in a bid to tackle the crisis of People's Democratic Party, most especially the Rivers State between the governor and the former governor of Rivers and now the minister of FCT. NLC 6-time extension for Ajero to honor police invitation. Threatens strike. Right after the story, accuses federal government of targeting labor leaders. Attempt to cripple union. ITUC condemns alleged intimidation of trade unions. You can get more reactions and the opinions right there on the paper, This Day newspaper. PDP BOT on fact-finding mission visit Fubara. You can see the picture of some members of the Board of Trustees of People's Democratic Party yesterday at Port Harcourt Government House in Rivers State, where they visited the governor in solidarity. I think we'll be having an expert who will be also giving us a perspective to this political crisis in Rivers State and what it means for the BOT to visit the governor at a time like this. CBN declares $553 million remittance inflows amid Forex reforms. TCN, 1.7 trillion naira required to complete the 129 ongoing transmission project nationwide. That story is on page 5 of this day newspaper. And also, we are facilitating $100 billion investment opportunities for culture, creative industry players. That's coming from the Ministry of Culture, reactions to revenues in terms of culture. That SANS activists, others give incoming CGN Kekere-Ekun 6 months timeline to initiate reforms. That's on page 12 of this newspaper. A couple of other stories, but you can actually get the paper from your vendor so as to get more deeper knowledge and reactions right there on this newspaper.
Our next point of call will be the Daily Trust newspaper. Big story, concerns as 43 die of food poisoning in 2 weeks. Farmers, agric workers blame hoarding and importation of substandard items. Federal government warns against indiscriminate use of preservatives. Avoid expired products. NMA warns of expired products there. More Yobe farmers take delivery of Governor May Malabuni's agric empowerment imputes across more local government areas. These are the stories on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. Of course, we see the empowerment, the agric empowerment implementation there by Governor May Malabuni.
A couple of other reactions and story from the newspaper this morning. We'll get now into the discussions on what is on the newspaper, the reactions, the samples of opinions, the actions by stakeholders. Many headlines on the paper this morning. We'll have a guest join us after this break. Do stay with us on the program.
Global Morning is your ultimate destination for engaging political and economic matters. I am Uyi Agmofrebe.
And don't forget to include social discussions. Tune in every weekdays from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. I am Queen Agaba.
For insightful breakfast ideas, business summaries, sports highlights, international and local news perspective, I am Anthony Momodu.
Don't miss the in-depth analysis of current and political issues by the Global Morning team and experts. I am Jumai Manson.
Catch Global Morning here on Global Television. Getting on the action. I am Edikan Michael.
We are
the Global Morning team.
Get ready for it. Inside Today brings you issues relating to family, peer pressure, drugs, substance abuse, societal and topical issues making rounds. Join Jumai Manson on Global Television Monday to Thursday and they repeat every Friday. Time 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Don't miss out. Time check. It's midday. Then it's Midday Discourse. Midday Discourse is a program that covers trending local and international news, current issues, and human-related topics. Join Samuel Odi weekdays 1 p.m. on Global Television. The discussion starts here. In an ever-busy world, the increasing challenge of keeping track of health matters can be extremely demanding. Follow the latest health tips and trends on Health Guide on Global Television on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Health Guide on Global Television. Put your health first.
But by your name, you say global. So global is a big coverage. So you are taking a big name, but you are starting from from scratch. So that big name, by the grace of Almighty Allah, you achieve that. You will appreciate your activities, your reportage, and everything you are doing. Do it with the fear of Almighty God. Step by step, you'll be growing very, very globally. Get your things right and then report rightly. And then inshallah, sky will be your remaining.
Are you ready to be entertained like never before? Get ready to dive into the latest and greatest entertainment news in lifestyle, music, movies, birthday celebration, and so much more, all on Entertainment Circle on Global Television. From the hottest red carpet event to exclusive interviews with your favorite stars, we've got you covered. Stay up to date with the latest trends and news from the entertainment world, all in one place. Tune in every Saturday by 1 p.m. with Chung Annabelle Joseph on Global Television.
For an insightful idea that takes the center stage and the conversation that gets beyond the headlines, to explore the lasting impact of political decisions, Big Talk got you covered. From policy debates to geopolitical insights, from thought-provoking discussions to actionable insight.
What is the real responsibility of government?
Big Talk delves deep into the heart of the matter. Join us weekdays on Global Televisions from 6:30 p.m. for a reverting journey into the heart of politics, where we dissect issues shaping our society.
Is the desk on Global Television?
Nigeria. Come join Anthony Momadou on television's most compelling and facts-finding talk live show.
We are the Palestinians. We are the Canaan because
that this country gets it right.
Who are these bandits? It's the Dex on Global Television, where we analyze and dissect storming issues and commentaries in the world's biggest black nation, Nigeria.
Who is being held accountable for this money?
The eyes have it.
We stay and decide policies and reforms on the Dex. Tune in Mondays to Fridays, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Global Television. Let's stay on the Dex.
Get a shot in, squares it, into the back.
It's time for sports' biggest moments on Global Television. The headlines, scores, breaking news, and commentaries on sporty events. Talking with the biggest players, strikers, and about the slam dunks and goals, stunning saves, near misses, and upsets. Let's talk about the greatest home runs, comebacks, knockdowns, and victories. Talk sports with the king of sports, Anthony Momadou. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Don't miss out.
Beautiful work from the wingers.
With every government and introduction of new policies, businesses of all kinds and sizes seize the opportunity to evolve and redefine themselves. Business Point on Global Television is where we follow the money and put the facts and figures right in front of you. Watch Business Point every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. as Kikelamo Okeri tracks all the latest developments across critical sectors. Business Point, this is business.
Global Morning is your ultimate destination for engaging political and economic matters. I am Uyi Agmofwebe.
And don't forget to include social discussions. Tune in every weekdays from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. I am Queen Agaba.
For insightful breakfast ideas, business summaries, sports highlights, international and local news perspective, I am Anthony Momodu.
Don't miss the in-depth analysis of current and political issues by the Global Morning team and experts. I am Jumai Manson.
Catch Global Morning Global Television, getting on the action. I am Edikan Michael.
We are
the Global Morning team.
Get ready for it. Inside Today brings you issues relating to family, peer pressure, drugs, substance abuse, societal and topical issues making rounds. Join Jumai Manson on Global Television Monday to Thursday and it repeats every Friday. Time 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Don't miss out. Time check.
Many thanks everyone for staying with us here on our morning show. A couple of reactions on the headlines about what is happening in the country. And of course, I have my guest, Demola, a legal practitioner, who joins us here in the studio to give us wider perspective to many issues in the headlines. Thanks so much, Mr. Demola, for joining us this morning.
Good morning. It's my pleasure being here.
Yes, it's always a pleasure. A couple of them. I and Queen were looking at the headlines. Issues about NNPC, the recent report about 9.3 trillion petrol import, even as queues are still persisting and lingering in many stations. And then we are forced to ask, what is the problem? NNPC sometimes will tell you issues of logistics, distributions, people are holding their product and all of that. Give us a perspective about all of these issues because it's pushing a lot of Nigerians into an untold hardship, I might say.
The economic hardship Nigeria is facing actually is premised on the fuel scarcity or the pump price of fuel as a result of the removal of subsidy. So our present economic woes is actually generated through this our petroleum industry. And then Nigerians, we keep having hopes and upon hopes, hopes upon renewed hopes, renewed hope upon renewed hopes.
That in a very short while, things are going to get better. I'm afraid that hope is eluding us if this administration does not take a drastic step with a very strong political will to address whatever might be the clog in the wheel of our progress. The press interview granted by Mr. Kyari, where he said that in the past 9 years, no marketers has been paid subsidy. And he made it clear that it is NNPC that has taken charge of importation. And what we pay as subsidy is directly paid to NNPC by federal government. The differential between the landing cost and the price fixed by federal government. So if it is NNPC that imports this fuel, that means no marketer should take responsibility. The sole blame should be on NNPC. They have not been able to give us any understandable reason why we are experiencing the current scarcity that is biting hard on Nigerians and that is dragging down our economic deeper into the abyss. And it's really cause for concern. NNPC has not been able to offer us any tangible explanation as to the reason behind the current scarcity, and it is worrisome.
So, because they have postponed the kickstart of a particular refinery over times, December, now again October, projecting into October and all of that. And then we are bored because a refinery ought to be working by now. If we have Dangote fixing the refinery within a very short while, even with the private hands, why can't government fix it? I mean, if they cannot run the business, give it to the hands of the private.
The issues surrounding especially Dangote refineries has actually exposed a lot of issues surrounding the inability of our past administration, past government to revive our petroleum. Obviously, and for every discerning Nigerian, it is observable that there are more to it than meet the eyes. The influence of foreign saboteurs cannot be ignored, and their local collaborators that ensures that every effort put in by successive governments, not only in Nigeria and in other African countries, to ensure we have local productions of at least what we consume in terms of energy, has always been thwarted. You recollect Mr. Oden, who said he was contacted by a foreign-based, a London-based NGO to disparage the Dangote refinery. Everything is being put in place, every hurdle is being laid to ensure that that private refinery does not work. How much more the one that belongs to government? So what we just need now is a political will and radical decision on the part of our leadership to make sure that all these forces that are militating against the success of the revival of our refineries are crushed. And until that is done, I think we are going to continue to beat around the bush. We are not going to make headway. But I very much have the hope that it has gotten to a point that Nigerians can no longer bear it. It's either they make Dangote refinery to work now so that Nigerians can have relief, and it is only when that happens that the federal government will be awoken to their responsibility to beat Dangote's monopoly. I think it is only then that our local refinery, that is private government-owned refineries, can be really pushed to work. It has to be pushed to work, despite whatever foreign or local influences are actually fighting against our success.
On the front page of The Guardian, we're told, particularly Southwest, 39 dams moribund over poor maintenance and obsolete equipment. Since we're still talking about our refineries and how we need to kickstart the dams, now we know how important it is and how much it should contribute to agricultural power generation and water supply and all of that. But what are your takes, knowing now that these dams have been neglected and underutilized, and moving forward, how do we begin to restructure?
Whose loss and whose misery? It is the state government's loss and the misery to Nigerians. Every household in this country today, every household of an average Nigerian that is a middle class has a borehole sunk in their compound. Because I don't know of any state in the Western Nigeria that has a working or profitable water corporation. Growing up, I recollect back then in the late 70s and early 80s, you are warned not to drink any water that is not pipe-borne water. Because the government of Oyo State then, where I came from, I'm from Osun now, made sure that the water...
You're from Oyo then?
I was from Oyo then, but I'm from Osun now.
Oh, really? Such migration. How is that possible?
The state has been divided into two.
Okay.
So my locality falls under Osun.
Okay, clearly.
So we have experience. So the water corporations then, they have reservoirs, which has the valve that pump water from distance to distance. The water corporation is a corporation, is a business enterprise that provides water, drinkable water to every household. And then you have public water, that if you don't have pipe-borne water linked to your house, government provides public places where you can fetch pipe-borne waters. That is what all those dams are meant for. So no state in the Southwest, maybe apart from Lagos, that has a functional public home water corporations that are commercialized, that are making profit. Then you will hear there is water, you will hear one dam in Ilesha is moribund. You will see another one in Lorangon is moribund. And that is how it is scattered all over the Southwestern state. And I can tell you, there is no Southwestern state government in all the 6 states that they call Southwest that has irrigation as a part of their farming system. Most farmers in that region, they are peasant. They are subsistence farmers. And they can only sell little of their surplus, maybe as a result of inability to preserve. So these are the areas we are complaining about, that state government have to take responsibilities. Everything should not be left for the federal government to tackle. So if a state government cannot maintain water corporation, tell me, how will they increase their IGR.
All right, because of time, because you have a whole lot of couple of headlines. Let's not get to the Guardian still. Don't provoke strike with handlings of Ajaro's invitation. NLC cautions police. I mean, it has been a concern. Treasonable offense, terrorism, financing, all of these allegations are mere allegations. And then one may say, if we haven't found him guilty of any of those offenses, you tried him in the court. The invitations with intimidations and all of that, it's worrisome. Going into the headquarters of NLC, breaking in and also making intimidation is also worrisome. What does the law says about invitation of police?
Thank goodness I'm not a political jobber. I'm also not a politician. But we should separate personal interest, political interest from national interest. There was an uproar when the Nigerian police force invaded the NLC secretariat. All Nigerians shouted that what could be wrong? Why will a government attack a labor union? And the police came out, I can remember vividly, and they said that building called NLC headquarters is not only housed by NLC alone, it has about 3 floors. They say part of the
10 floor. He has about 10 floors.
10 floor. Yeah, they say there is a particular floor that is let out to a tenant. And then that particular tenant is a subject of an investigation relating terrorism. So because the building belongs to NLC now, if police has an investigation to make concerning a tenant of NLC, they should say because it's an NLC building, they should not go there. That will not be in the best of interest of the national security. Now, they have gone to that place and they said they recover some documents, incriminating documents against that particular individual. And I recollect vividly too that the police came out then that so far they have not seen anything connecting NLC to that investigation. But if in the course of their investigation, let's say, there is something that is pointing to a particular individual, Ajaro in this case, should we say because he's an NLC president, he should not be investigated? To me, infestation by police is not an harassment. It's not an intimidation. The police has that power under Section 4 of Police Act 2020 to invite persons to come and give information to police, especially when an investigation requires the attendance of that person. So why don't you just honor the invitation and see what police have to say? Why don't you honor the invitation and then let us see police not granting you bail that the law and the constitution has given you as your right? Then we can begin to cry. But police just invite you and then you become scared. Do you have any skeleton in your cupboard?
I mean, because
it's just a mere invitation. Then visit. Then know what is the police. They say terrorism. What do you have against me? Let me see. Then the Nigerians will know whether you actually have a case to answer or you are being witch hunted. But now they ask you to just come. That is invitation, not even an arrest. And you are scared. Why? So we should place our national interest above our political or personal interest. That's what patriots do.
There are a lot of, I mean, if you ask the NLC, they will tell you the text that they received, I mean, didn't in any way give honor to NLC president in terms of recognition about the fact that you are inviting the NLC president. And now, something said, if the personal invitation about indictment, probably you find him wanting in one case or the other, there are ways you should go about it. Coming to the headquarters of, NLC to look for the president as an odd hour, because from what the public relations officer said, you know, they have working hours. So at the point where they went there to look for him at the odd hour was also questionable. Probably we would have gone to his house if it was a personal issue, if it wasn't about NLC. Give us an understanding, because it now looks that there's a plan targeted, you know, just at the leaders of NLC. They have been concerned about this.
NLC president is the one complicating this issue. Police has the power of entry to any building at any time of the day, especially when the commission of a crime is suspected.
Without court order.
Without court order. Without court order. They have such power to enter into any premises for search. The highest you ask them for is search warrant, which can also be signed by a senior police officer or a magistrate. So if they have been there, they said the first time they came, they were not looking for NLC or NLC staff. They actually went to that building to search a particular suspect who is a tenant to NLC within the NLC building. And now if their investigation now points to any member of staff of NLC or any officer of NLC, and they are inviting you, since when an invitation of police become an intimidation? Okay, why can't you just honor that invitation and then let us know whether they are witch hunting you or not? So we should not just be sensationalizing a trivial issue.
Well, there are 6 for, extension.
That's my own humble opinion.
There are 6 for extension, so let's see what plays out.
Just go on up invitation. Then if they want to harass you or detain you beyond the constitutionally permitted time, all Nigerians then will rally behind you to ensure that the proper thing is done.
Yeah, we have investigations, hurdles ahead of the CNG vehicles rollout. It's been major concerns where we have issues with people talking about the safety of the CNG buses and if Nigeria is ready. How safe is it with having to use gas, powered vehicles? Are we ready? Safety and all of that. What are your thoughts concerning these issues?
Well, a journey of a mile starts with a step. The use of a CNG is new to Nigerians. And before federal government adopted this as a policy, I know there are few people who have on their own experimented with it, with their vehicles. And the general consensus is that in terms of cost, it's more cost effective than PMS. Then in terms of safety, to my own knowledge, I've not had any reports or account of somebody who was endangered based on the use of CNG. And I also know that for federal government to adopt it as a policy, they hold Nigerians the duty of due diligence to ensure that it is safe. To ensure that it is safe. To me, if it is not safe, federal government will not roll it out. And again, another perspective to it is that with the current hardship we are going through in terms of access to PMS and the cost of importing and then subsidy and the rest and all these controversies surrounding it, if we actually have this in surplus and we don't need to import it, I would say it is better we adopt it. And before we know it, it will be all over the places. Maybe Dangote will make more money selling his finished product overseas and earn dollar for Nigeria and our local refinery if Nigeria has adopted to the use of CNG.
A lot of concerns have been as regards our roads and these gas-powered vehicles and the kinds of, gas that this could possibly lead to, explosions, looking at how our roads are. And then concerns also as regards training, people training and awareness about CNG and all of that.
I also heard, I don't know how true that is, that government has actually taken up the process of empowering young people through trainings. So if that is really put in place and it is effectively implemented, unlike other palliative that are not getting to the people, well, I think the issue of training and maintenance will be out of it. Because I can't remember the number they gave, that the number per state of people that are to be trained. Then the issue of security and explosion because of the nature of our road. Well, to me, when they have brought the policy that they have brought it, and when we get to the bridge, we are going to cross it. Nigerians' life have always been endangered. The bad road itself is a danger to us.
It's a danger. So you're saying that we're ready for CNG buses?
When the spirit of death is ready, the sick man is ready. When federal government says it is ready, we are ready.
Okay. Let me go to the cost of governance now. One of the papers, we're told that Tinubu's foreign trips in the past 6 months cost about 2.3 billion naira. Considering
that is crazy.
Considering where we are now, let me get your.
And now we've purchased a new presidential jet.
Presidential jet.
See, I've always said this, and I will say it again. Every policy being rolled out by this administration, I cherish. All the measures that are being put in place by this government, I appreciate. And I have a very strong belief that this administration, with the policy they are rolling out, Nigeria is going to get better. But the greatest problem I have with this administration is wastage and misplacement of priority. In the midst of this famine that we are currently experiencing and lack by Nigerians, to even wake up and read the news that you are building 21 billion naira worth of vice presidential building is provocative to ordinary man. Let alone 150 billion naira presidential jet and some other wastages that we are having, 160 million naira worth of cars for 306 legislators. So all these things are very, very annoying. And these are things we say the cost of governance in Nigeria is high and they are misplacing the priority. Spending that amount of money for foreign trips is too much. It's too much. And the best way to check that is by constitutional reform. To take Nigeria, and when in that constitutional reform, we have to ensure proper devolution of power. Our president should just be maybe the way our old prime minister was, just a ceremonial head, just to represent our regions outside as the president of Nigeria. But the real government should be in the regions. So it is only then we can cut down the number of federal legislators. It is only then we can move from bicameral legislature to unicameral legislature. We don't need the House of Rep and the Senate. So when we have a government of southwestern Nigeria, government of north central Nigeria, we have government of southeast Nigeria, we have the government of south Nigeria, and these are the people controlling their resources and their economy. You will see healthy competition among these regions. And people that are in the federal government, we have only to do a few things. They will only be in charge of our CBN to maintain the strength of our currency. They will only be in charge of our army to have a common security against external aggression. What else do you have to give to federal government?
All right. I mean, we still have a couple of other headlines. And on this day newspaper, we had Edwin Clark saying Wike must leave People's Democratic Party for party to survive. And I mean, yesterday, members of the Board of Trustees visited Fubara at Rivers State. A concern about sanctioning, what the law says in the party, issues of, discipline. They have also set up a committee to handle that. Do you feel that it's coming too late? Because we've seen many lingering stories that the governor is planning to make a move to other party because for him, the People's Democratic Party have not lived to the expectations of rescue the party's image.
If Fubara is threatening to leave the party?
Yes.
As for
so now them going to visit the governor right now.
To retain him.
Is it a late time or is in a good direction?
To me, that is a threat to Wike, a threat of suspension. And to me, PDP, I would describe that party now, in this context, as a toothless bulldog that can only bark but cannot bite.
A party that held office for many years,
yes.
Held the presidency for many years?
Yeah, yes. The strength my father had in 1980 is still alive. He does not have that strength now. That is the strength of PDP, the strength of the old age. Wike had once threatened them that he dared PDP to expel him. Why didn't they then? Because they knew his strength within that party. They know how much influence he wielded within that party. As that interest and power he wielded then, has it waned? If not, PDP dare not remove Wike. PDP dare not threaten Wike because he has loyal members. In fact, he's the most influential member of PDP as we speak. To me, Nigeria is actually moving towards one-party state because Wike controls PDP. Forget whatever threat the Board of Trustees.
They have also been concerned that he wants to capture People's Democratic Party and APC in Rivers State. I mean, with what is going on in the APC crisis, also the fact that the caretaker committee chairman is insisting, even after the court order, that Emeka, who is the authentic chairman of the party then, resume office. So they have been concerned that he's trying to make whole of APC and also trying to make whole of PDP. Is this after? Is this really about 2027 from all indications?
The struggle for 2027 began immediately after the swearing in of the president on May 29, 2023.
So they shouldn't focus on delivering these other mandates first? Because hardship is real in the country. We've seen people that supported Tinubu saying we're hungry and all of that.
This is it. We have the political party as a structure for politics. And we have a government put in place, the executive, the ministers, and the president for governance. So when Ganduje is traveling from state to state, trying to strengthen the APC, and the PDP Board of Trustees is going to Rivers, that is political. And it is within the political party's activities to do, while the people in governance continue the governance. Meanwhile, there are situations or there are occasions when the two interpolate.
Okay, now let's, our final question will be bordering on hunger, as PFN has told President Tinubu to hasten the renewed hope agenda as people are hungry. How long is, it's barely 14 months since President Tinubu assumed office, and we've been told to, give him more time to implement some of the policies that he has in store to, be able to get us to the promised land or make Nigeria better. But how long is too long, considering the hardship, the enormous hardship that we face now? Do you think more time should be given to President Tinubu? Do you think that there should be at least some level of relief in terms of food prices, food costs, while we're still working strategically to get to where we need to be to?
When we are asking for more time for President Tinubu, President Tinubu has no more time to be given. He has been given his time, which started on May 29, 2023, and is going to end on the eve of the May 29, 2027, I suppose. So we have given him 4 years. How fast he delivers the dividend of democracy and the mandate we give him is the question. We cannot give him more time. He should deliver, and he should deliver now. What I think that this present administration should focus on is to resolve all the bottlenecks and controversies surrounding our oil and gas industry. Once that is fixed, it will jumpstart our economy. It will stabilize our naira, because it's our major source of revenue as a nation. A major chunk of our money, of foreign earning, is spent on the importation of what we have, what we can process here. What we are supposed to be using to earn foreign currency, forex, is what we are not earning that forex, and we are dissipating the little we have on importation. Once that is fixed, and I know that can be fixed within the shortest possible time, say 2-3 months from now. I read yesterday, they said that Dangote, for example, because it's the only one that we have hope of giving us PMS on. Say, federal government team and Dangote, their negotiation team and Dangote, they have agreed again now on September. Initially, it was December last year, then June this year, then July, then August. Now they have given us September. I just pray that that date we gain will not be a mirage. But the sooner we stabilize and resolve all issues surrounding our oil and gas, Nigerians will have a new lease of life. We will have a new lease of life.
Couple of reactions on the headlines. Prince Ademola Adekunle is a lawyer, Pan-Africanist, and a political commentator. Thanks so much for joining us on Review this morning.
It's my pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
And of course, we just have to catch up on a break. So as we prepare for the news, we'll bring you the AM news shortly. After this break, do stay with us.
I want to go further to congratulate you on being on DSTV 365. Yeah, channel 365 It's an awesome thing. Congratulations, and I will enjoy each and every one to keep on watching Global TV.
This is Global TV. For your current affairs, for your current information, ideas, education, entertainment news at the best. Channel 365 on DSTV. You have just come alive into a new phenomenon in the media industry. Keep watching. Stay tuned.
Keep watching Global Television on DSTV channel 365 for your news and all national issues and international breaking news. Watch Global TV.